Hi there. Welcome back to Supercharge Fridays. I am broadcasting to you, not exactly live, but recorded. I'm recording this a few minutes before going live. Actually, I am in India, back home in Delhi with my parents. I hope you're doing amazing. If we haven't met before, welcome to Supercharge Fridays. This is a weekly happy hour where we get together and we talk about career questions. I bring in guests a few times. And if we haven't met before, my name is Sonal Behel. I'm a former HR director and a career strategist. I help people who are going through transition actively with courses, coaching, and content right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as my podcast, How I Got Hired. All right. So I landed a few hours ago and I'm currently spending time with family, which is why if you're watching me right now live, it's kind of pre-recorded like less than 45 minutes before the usual time. And although I will see your comments a little bit later, I wanted to leave you with a couple of thoughts, particularly during this holiday season. For a lot of us, it's time to slow down. And lots of people say reflect and goals and all of that. So there's a few things I was thinking about that I wanted to sort of leave you with. The first is something that I posted on my newsletter. If you are not part of my newsletter, what are you doing? Just go to superchargeyourself.com/newsletter, subscribe. You get one email from me every Monday. It takes less than 3 minutes to read. That's one thing I make sure of. And this is something I shared on this week's edition. And essentially, what I talk about is holiday networking. So if you're, this is the time of year you meet lots of family and friends. It's very normal, small talk to say, hey, how you doing? How's it going? And my request is two things: whether you are from a job search point of view or whether you are from the other point of view, where you are already employed. If you are already employed or you're working and you meet a friend of yours who you know is actively going through job search, here is a thought. Try not to begin the conversation with, hey, how's the job search going? It is not an easy question to answer. Imagine you and your partner have been trying to have a baby, and every month somebody or the other is making small talk and asking, hey, so are you guys pregnant yet? Difficult to answer. It's awkward. It's hurtful, in fact, reminds you of what you don't have. So, what I recommend instead, right, and you want to help your friend, say, hey, how you doing? And you have your small talk, you have friendships. I'm not going to tell you how to talk to your friends. You know how to do that. You know your audience, you read the room. What I do recommend is offer help, very specific help. Say, hey, if you're still looking for your next gig, let me know, because I might know some interesting people at Google or Netflix or this accounting firm, and I know this law firm is hiring. That's a lot more. You want to make, and they're like, no, I'm not really looking. Oh, this is good to know, whatever it is, but it's much better than asking about, hey, how's it going? How's the job search coming along? Something to think about. And what if you're on the other side? What if you're on the side of job search, right? It's obviously difficult to answer that question, but understand they're coming from a place of care. Most people want to help, right? And one way you can help them to help them help you, think Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise. One thing you can do is you can ask for advice, and the more specific you are, yeah, I'd love some advice. I'm looking at these three firms that I'm super interested in. What would be your take on things? And would you know people there who you could make an introduction? um, People would love to help. A lot of us want to help, but we don't know how. And this is one way you can make it easy for them. So, this is the first thought I wanted to talk about, which is holiday networking. Approach it with care, particularly when you know someone. Like, even when they look really happy, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So, approach it with care as a, like, you cannot go wrong with that. The second thing I wanted to share was something that I released on my LinkedIn yesterday. I know that when you release something on LinkedIn or any social media for that matter, it's only 5 or 10% of people actually see it. So if you're seeing this right now, I hope you are, if you haven't seen it, I hope you're one of those people that catches it now. And essentially, the message in that post yesterday, I saw that it resonated with a lot of people. And I wanted to remind you, and the message is that nothing is permanent. And it just so happened yesterday was 21st of December. And it's a very strange day if you think about it. It's winter solstice in the northern hemisphere, right? You have short day and a longest night of the year. So you have hardly any daylight. Unless you're in Scandinavia, then you have like zero daylight, particularly in the very, very north of Sweden. On the other hand, I lived in South America from 2005 to 2008. And 21st December was actually summer solstice. It was the longest day of the year and the shortest night of the year. So the point of that post was somebody's 21st December could be somebody's 21st June. Nothing is permanent. People who look like they're crushing their goals, things can change and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You got to keep showing up and you got to keep working at things. And always remember that if you want to start, you don't have to wait for 1st of Jan. You can start today because that's all you have. Time right now is all you have. Never want to take that for granted. And never want to take success for granted. I never want to take what is the word? Drawbacks. Never want to take them for granted either because things can flip. Because remember, 6 months later, somebody else's 21st June is somebody else's 21st December. Hope it kind of makes sense. I don't know if I articulated it as well as I did in writing. In writing, it's a lot more crystallized, the thought. All right. And the last thing I wanted to say is magic happens when we are open, way more open to chance and way more open to change. A lot of people will tell you nothing happens this time of year. No recruiting, no job search, everyone's taking time off. And that could be true. That could be true. But don't underestimate small talk with random strangers. Who you meet, what you talk about. You never know where those connections go. The more open you are to those chances, the more open you are to change, amazing things will happen. And a great example of that is this week's podcast episode, a guest of mine on how I got hired. Her name is Donna Serdula. I highly recommend you check that out. Just go to How I Got Hired, write my name, and see the most recent episode. She is what I would call an accidental entrepreneur. She didn't necessarily want to start her own business. She was working in sales. She got laid off. And she started taking advantage of LinkedIn very early in LinkedIn's journey, much before everyone else. And her father kept telling her, "You're really good at this. You should write the dummies guide to LinkedIn profiles." And she was like, "Why would I write the dummies guide? Nobody will want me to write it. Who am I to write this?" Right? We come from a place of ego when we say, "Who am I to do this?" And her dad was like, "I think there's something here. I think you got to keep doing it." Eventually, yeah, I don't want to, give you any spoilers, but eventually it worked out, but not in the way she expected, just because she was open to chance. So these are 3 messages that are coming to you, not from a lecture, do as I say, don't do as I do. These are coming to you from deep, often painful personal experiences. Holiday networking, I never used to look forward to people asking me when I was in between jobs. I never used to look forward to people asking me, "How's the job search coming along?" I never enjoyed it. I stopped socializing, and it was not good for mental health to not see people. And I also let my ego get in the way, and I didn't ask for enough help. I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't let the ego take center stage. So don't do what I did. And nothing is permanent. Somebody's 21st June is somebody's 21st December. Please, please, please remember this. When I started out on this sort of career strategist sort of journey, I was comparing my chapter 1 to someone's chapter 25. And I got so discouraged. And it slowed me down a lot. And I could have got there faster, but I let my ego get in the way. Again, don't do as I did. Know better. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. And of course, open to chance, open to change. One conversation, sometimes that's all it takes. All right, folks, I hope this has been enjoyable. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy, taking care of yourself, taking care of your physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, mental health. Eat good food, go for walks, spend lots of time with loved ones, dance, crack jokes, watch a lot of silly holiday movies with the same predictable ending. And I shall see you at the same time next Friday, 29th December, right here on #SuperCharged Fridays. Have a lovely Friday. And